What's up, KFG gang? It's your boy Big Boy John 25, and today I'm gonna do my AEW review and highlights. So you guys know, push that like button as hard as you can, hit that red button as hard as you can. Let's get started. AEW was just a pretty good show. It was just a pretty good show. It's time for AEW as All Elite Wrestling returns with their weekly show live tonight from the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. I love the crowd. I love the energy of the AEW fans. But anyway, let me move on. Heyman Page and the Young Bucks kick off the show. After highlights are shown from last week's show, this week's show opens up with what we're later told was an early today interview segment backstage at the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, where Tony Schiavone is with Heyman, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks. Tony Schiavone asks Heyman about the mystery tag team partner Page has lined up for tonight's match against the Inner Circle duo of Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. The Young Bucks ask Page if that is what they asked them to come here. Hangman breaks with one of the Bucks and giving Tony Schiavone nothing in terms of hints when asking who his mystery partner would be tonight. My opinion is this: I thought it was Matt Hardy and Luke Harper. Those are the two tag mystery partners popped in my head. But next week, I cannot wait to see Matt Hardy with AEW. That's just my opinion, and that's facts. But anyway, let me move on. Ortiz versus Cody. This match was fantastic. This was a good match. Good match, by the way, by Ortiz and Cody. From there, we shoot inside the Salt Lake City, Utah arena where power goes off, fireworks explode, and Jim Ross warmly welcomes us to the show. After that, Tony Schiavone referenced the interview segment we just saw, hyping the mystery partner for Heyman Page later in the show. After that, the theme music of Pound and Powerful plays as the Inner Circle duo of Santana and Ortiz makes their way to the ring for tonight's opening contest. His opponent Cody is out next to a great pop from the Utah fans as he is greeted by Brandy Rose and R. Anderson. The referee calls for the bell, and tonight's one-on-one opening contest between Ortiz and Cody is now officially underway. As the fans chant "Cody, Cody," we see the American Nightmare jump up to an early offensive lead. Out of nowhere, with no music, we see Jake the Snake Roberts accompanied by Lance Archer as the two makes their way through the fans in Maverick Center as they are apparently going to sit ringside for this one. Announcers point out who Lance Archer is for the viewing audience that might not be aware. We are reminded of Jake's recent debut and vowed to make Cody's life a living hell. Meanwhile, Ortiz is taking over the offensive driver's seat in this match after Jake the Snake and Lance Archer enters to distract Cody. Fans break out into a holy you-know-what chant upon seeing Jake. Eventually, Jake the Snake chants. Cody is fired up with punches and drops down punches to finish, but moments later, a distraction provided by Santana on the floor outside the ring allows Ortiz to take the leg out from behind Cody. Ortiz is now working on the leg of Cody. Cody gets brief hope spot in the match to showcase the sell job on his leg. That is already become a clear-cut focal point from the Inner Circle member. Ortiz is clearly in the lead now in this match. Ortiz dumps Cody to the floor and grabs the ref to show him something. While the ref is distracted, Santana gets in some cheap shots. Back in the ring, Ortiz come up short on a pin attempt as the camera cuts to Jake and Lance Archer watching from their seats in the crowd over and over again. Cody takes a weight belt off the start, making his comeback now. As the crowd goes into extended war that is sustained so long that JR addressed it. They love this kid, say good old JR. Cody with the 10-punch spot now as the crowd counts along. Brandy takes her belt off and takes a swat at Santana. Ortiz turns the tide in the ring now and gets Cody to the top rope. But he brings Cody down with the authority by the way of a massive superplex off the top rope. Ortiz loses focus briefly and Cody fights his way back in the match as Santana close in on Brandy and R. Anderson again. Cody runs and drives through the ropes, splashing onto Santana in the process. Ortiz tries to follow up with a dive on Cody, but Cody catches him on his way out and slams him. We see Jake and Archer are standing up now from their seat. Archer was about to jump the guardrail, but Jake stopped him and whispered something in his ear. The two begin to leave now as they make their way through the fence out of the arena. Cody with a dragon screw wrenching on the leg of Ortiz and the ropes in the corner of the ring. Now he jumps off the middle rope and stomps the same leg. He lets out a war cry before sweeping the leg of Ortiz and applying the figure 4 leg lock. Ortiz eventually rolls over to counter the move. Cody rolls him back to reverse the counter, putting the hold back on Ortiz. Ortiz taps out. Cody wins in this week's opener. The winner of the match, Cody. This match was good. Moving on. Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle brutally attacked Nick Jackson. The chaos continues after the bell. Cody's post-match celebration is cut off when Santana bashes Cody while he was posing for the fans on the ropes. He starts putting the boots to Cody, but out of nowhere runs Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to make the save. As they check on Cody after running off Santana and Ortiz, we see Chris Jericho appear on the big screen from backstage. Chris Jericho, who is with Jack Hager and Sammy Guevara, reminds us that he has put the entire AEW roster on notice. Chris Jericho then reveals that they just ran into Nick Jackson to start delivering on the promise. The camera pans and we see a garage door lower on the bloody face of an unconscious Nick Jackson. Chris Jericho makes a wisecrack and the Inner Circle trio walk off. Moments later, Cody, Omega, and Matt Jackson showed up where Nick Jackson is, and they stand and watches as the doctors rush in to check on him and tend to him. We head to a commercial break. On that note, Cody and Matt Jackson follows Nick Jackson to the hospital. I hope Nick Jackson is okay. So I just hope Nick Jackson gets a full recovery. That's all I gotta say. We return and we see a car that we're told Cody and Matt Jackson are in, following an ambulance that Nick Jackson was just loaded onto out of the arena parking lot and out to the hospital. Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida versus Nia Ross and Bea Priestley. This women's division in AEW is god awful. This match was god awful. I still cannot get behind the AEW women's division. It just god awful. We shoot back live inside the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, where we move on to the action in the women's division here in AEW as the women's tag team bouts is up next. Out first comes Chris Statlander as the announcers make Star Wars reference now. Her partner for tonight is Hikaru Shida makes her way to join her in the ring. Their opponents are out next. First out is Bea Priestley, who is the commentator talks about being someone with a big upside as she is still young and early in her career. Her partner is regaining AEW Women's World Champion Nyla Rose comes out next, wearing a Deontay Wilder pre-Tyson Fury 2 style mask as firepower explodes behind her while she poses with the AEW Women's World title. The announcer sells the dominance of Rose as she finished her entrance by kneeling in front of the belt in the ring. As this AEW Women's Tag Team bout is now officially in progress as the bell sounds. Rose and Priestley charge as Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida immediately to start the match to jump off to an early offensive advantage. When the smoke clears, it is Rose and Shida left as the legal participants in the ring, as Rose dominates the action in the early goings. The AEW Women's World Champion tags in Priestley now, who comes in and picks and picks up where she left off, taking it to Sheeta in the corner. The fans break out into a Sheeta chant as Tony Schiavone does some AEW shop promotions. We head to a mid-match commercial break. The fans chant Holy Sheeta, Holy Sheeta, after she hits a cool spot and begins making her comeback on offense. She's all fired up now, hitting release German suplexes, running knee strikes, and another offense. Priestley managed to make the tag to Nyla Rose before Sheeta can tag in Chris Statlander. As a result, a Fisher, much larger, Rose comes in, bullying the already weakening Sheeta. Nada Rose sets Sheeta up for the knee drop, guarantee off the top, but Chris Statlander makes the save. Sheeta looks for the brainbuster on Rose. She gives it up in favor a kick to Dome. Now she scoops to much larger champ up and hits a sit-out slam for a pin attempt that gets broken up. After a lot of interference spots from both teams, Sheeta hits a superplex on Priestley. However, Rose grabs her and hits her finisher seconds later. 1, 2, 3. Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley win. The winners of the match: Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley. After the match, Bea Priestley attacks the champion. Once the match is over, as the announcers are putting over how good of a tag team Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley are, Priestley takes the opportunity to take a free spot at the champ. She knocks her down and poses with the title. Christopher Daniels mocks the Dark Order. I'm not a fan of the Dark Order. That's just my opinion. After we see highlights of Christopher Daniels faking out the Dark Order by dressing up as the Exile One, only to reveal it was himself before attacking them at the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. We shoot to a comedy providentis that shows Christopher Daniels doing a mock version of the Join the Dark Order. Ads that have been airing throughout the weeks on AEW Dynamite. Daniels goes on to claim there's no Exile One. He says his challenge Evil Uno and Pseudo Grayson in a separate one-on-one matches. He says when he beats them both and no Exile One, he comes to save them. It will prove there is no Exile One in the first place. We head to commercial after this segment. The Butcher, the Blade, and MJF versus Jurassic Express. I'm not a fan of Jurassic Express, but it is what it is. When we return from the break, the Butcher and the Blade are making their way to the ring, accompanied by the Bunny. Out next is their tag partner for tonight, who comes out accompanied by Warlow, Maxwell Jacob Fredman, MJF. Jim Ross tells us for those keeping score, MJF turns 24 soon as a cocky MJF poses in the ring as the fans boo while he finished up his entrance. Our next are the trio of Jurassic Express, the Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, complete with their fireworks treatment for their ring entrance. Jungle Boy 22 and Marco Stunt 23 are also taught as young prospect by the announcers. Our first of two big 6-man tag matches this week at AEW Dynamite is now in progress. R.E. Edwards will be the referee for this one. Once the bell sounds, it doesn't take long before the heels are in the offensive driver's seat after Butcher and the Blade hit a double chop block on the back of both of Luchasaurus' knee. MJF takes over from there as we head to a mid-match commercial break. We're back from the break and we see the Luchasaurus finally starting to show sign of life. throughout. He is still walking extra carefully, walking extra careful on the two legs that the butcher and the blade took out earlier in the contest. Now his leg appeared to be straightened up, as while the both guys hold on to each other, to each leg of Luchasaurus. He drags them step by step from from one end of the ring to another before ultimately making the tag. Jungle Boy takes the hot tag as he has already hit the two spots off the top rope and is gearing up for a dive to the floor. He is momentarily stopped until Marco comes in to make the save. Afterwards, Marco hits the top Sukuda, but is caught and held until Jungle Boy follows behind him to knock down the Butcher and the Blade as they were holding him now. Luchasaurus hits a crazy step-up dive of his own that took Supermassive in live speed. Back in the ring, Luchasaurus hits Blade and MJF with a double choke slam before following up with a standing moonsault. He pins attempt is broken up now, and the ring is clear of everyone except Luchasaurus and the Butcher, who exchange shoulder smash into each other like two rams or rhinos or something. Now Marco is up looking for a hot spot, but the Bunny hops on everything for a distraction, while the Blade throws him off onto the floor. MJ yanks Marco in his salt of the earth submission finisher, and this one is over. The winner of the match, MJF and the Butcher and the Blade. Darby Allin Vintage. We see highlights of Darby Allin's incredible performance in last week's AEW main event. From there, we cut to a new black and white vintage that showed Darby Allin driving a pickup truck that has "Rest in Peace Sammy" spray painted on the side of it, while he drives around dragging a body bag with something written on it behind him. Britt Baker and Big Swole shoot on each other's significant others in WWE. Back live in the Maverick Center, Tony Schiavone is holding a stick mic at the entrance stage ramp as the introduced Dr. Britt Baker. Baker comes out is immediately talking trash about the dental care that the fans of Salt Lake City, Utah appear to practice. She continues talking dig at the local fans in the arena, while a smirking Tony Schiavone sips on his coffee. As she continues talking smack, and out comes Big Swole to confront Baker. Swole says she watches the product and brings up Baker's mouth and attitude. Swole says she shouldn't hide behind Tony Schiavone. She doesn't even like her. Baker takes a shot at Baker by claiming the only person who knows anything about wrestling in her house, her boyfriend, referenced WWE superstar Cedric Alexander. Swole says she doesn't know what Baker is talking about. She holds up her wedding ring and says, I'm married, baby. Reference Baker real life boyfriend, NXT champion Adam Cole. Baker throws Siobhan a hot coffee on Swole and runs away as the fans chant "Swole, Swole, Swole" in response to her "Baby" line. Joey Janela and Private Party versus Death Triangle. This match was good. I love this tag team match. We would turn, and Joey Janela is making his way down to the ring where he will join Private Party. Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy against newly formed the trio faction of the Bastard Pack and the Lucha Bros. Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix, who now makes their ring entrance together. The bell sounds, and here we go. Pack and Cassidy get things going inside the ring. Early on, Pac is controlling the action. Within a few seconds, Cassidy is firing up and even up the offensive exchange a bit. He tags in Quinn and Cassidy hit some awesome double team spots, including the silly string. Janela is tagged in as Pentagon Jr. Janela hits a big clothesline and peppered the Lucha Bros with strikes before Pac runs in with a cheap shot from behind. Everyone hits the ring, and now as the babyface eventually cleared the ring, Janela hits a high spot from the ring to the floor before yelling, "I'm a bad boy," into the camera. The action returns to the ring as we head to a mid-match commercial. We return and we see Janela hit a big diving headbutt to the floor. Private Party hit the Gin and Juice double team move into the Death Valley driver. One of the Private Party members hit a crazy shooting star press off the top rope for a near fall that elects a "This is awesome" chant from the Salt Lake City, Utah fans. The Lucha Bros hit some double team offense, including a diving double foot stomp for a near fall. Private Party light the fans on fire with some more improvised styles high spots. Janela with a Death Valley driver onto a pin attempt that doesn't get the job done. Once again, the heels of Trio of Death Triangle is taking over on offense. The Lucha Bros hit a pile driver slash stump double team spot, and Pac follows up with the wicked Black Arrow finisher off the top rope for the win. The Death Triangle is 1-0 as the trio in AEW after tonight's debut match. The winner of the match, Death Triangle. After the match, Death Triangle shows off their Death Triangle. Once the match is over, Death Triangle locks Joey Janela and Private Party in their Death Triangle finisher of the same name as their team name. It's a triple submission hold with each member yanking back in the seated camel clutch style position on grounded opponents opposition submission terminals. As they tighten the hold, out comes the best friends Orange Cassidy to run off Death Triangle and breaks things up. Dustin Rhodes says his Heyman Page partner tonight. We shoot backstage where Dustin Rhodes is in his ring gear and face paint, ready for action after not being in the ring gear or wearing face paint when showing earlier during the Matt Jackson's injuries angle. Dustin goes on to reveal that whether Heyman likes it or not, he is going to be his tag partner tonight and helps him do some dirty cowboy you-know-what. He mentions being sick and tired of seeing the Inner Circle running around like they own the place and can't do whatever they feel. We shoot into a commercial break on that note. The Exile one of the Dark Order to be revealed next week. I cannot wait. The announcers run down some of the action to store for next week's AEW Dynamite show from Rochester, New York. In addition to some announcers matches, we are informed that the Exile one of the Dark Order, which Daniels claimed just earlier in the show, doesn't exist and will soon be proved after that beat both Dark Order members in the single matches will officially be revealed. Jim Ross sits down with Jon Moxley. We are informed that Jon Moxley has been medically suspended from the ring, and as a result, is not here tonight in Salt Lake City, Utah. As a result, we kick to a pre-record interview that Jim Ross did in one-on-one sit down with Fashion. Moxley talks about how Chris Jericho is as smart as he thinks. He is. It's scary how he dare anyone from the Inner Circle to try and make what rightfully is the AEW World Champion. Things end up Moxley delivering one final statement to Jericho as he stares into the camera with a big smile on his face. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Heyman, Adam Page, and Dustin Rhodes. another great tag team match. Justin Roberts is shown standing in the ring, and he begins his intro for the first of two teams in tonight's AEW Dynamite. And out comes Chris Jericho and the Spanish God of the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara, for their tag team bouts against Heyman, Adam Page, and his mystery partner Dustin Rhodes. Out comes Heyman Page now as the familiar theme music of one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions played in the building in Salt Lake City, Utah. The announcers speculate who Page's team is going to be. His music fades down, and up comes the music of Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes makes his way out after clapping hands with Brandy Rhodes and QT Marshall. Hangman waves him down to the ring. The two appear to be arguing about something now. As Dustin enters the ring, the bell sounds and we're off and running with tonight's main event. Early on, Heyman is handling things well by himself, but after things get hairy of 50% of the AEW Tag Champs, he is finally forced to tag in Dustin. The announcers act surprised after reminding us that Heyman refused to tag Jackson when he was teamed up with one of the Young Bucks recently. In the ring now, Guevara is the legal man, and he continues to go to work on Dustin. Out on the floor now, Dustin is beaten up at ringside. Jack Hager and Pound and Powerful while the ref is busy with the action in the ring. We head to a mid-match commercial break on that note. When we return the break, we see Dustin is still isolated in the ring, and the duo of Jericho and Guevara are still in control with ease. Finally, Dustin Rhodes makes the tag. Heyman takes the hot tag and is all fired up, knocking down and taking out everything in sight that moves. Jericho tags himself in and tries getting a cheap shot and in on unexpecting Heyman. Whoever Page catches him coming and blasts him. Dustin and Heyman both climb to the top rope together. Dustin dives on Jericho in the ring while Heyman dives onto Guerrero, Hager, and others on the floor. The fans chant "Cowboy, you know what?" as Heyman look for the buckshot, but he is caught by Jericho coming in. Now Guerrero goes to the top rope and lands on his feet after a shooting star press, finds no one to land on when Heyman gets up. On the floor, Heyman and Jericho exchange punches as Dustin hits the destroyer on Guevara. Heyman follows up with the buckshot, lariat 1, 2, 3. Heyman and Dustin picks up the win. The winners of the match, Heyman, Adam Page, and Dustin Rhodes. After the match, the show closed with a bang. As soon as the match ends, every member of the Inner Circle hits the ring and starts taking out Hangman and Dustin Rhodes. The announcers reminds us that Heyman and Dustin are out of allies, as they remind fans that Cowboy Matt Jackson follows Nick in a car when he was loaded in an ambulance and rushes to the hospital. Out of nowhere, Omega sprints down to the ring to make a save, but is eventually swallowed up by the Inner Circle. Cody sprints to the ring in a big pop from the fans as the announcers appear. Surprised Cody is back from the hospital. Hager drags Heyman up the ramp by his neck. They seated him up for a triple powerbomb, but like they did to temporarily put Moxley on the shelf, Matt Jackson makes the save just in time to stop the triple powerbomb. A fire-up Matt takes out the Inner Circle members and finally locks eyes with Hangman. He yells something at Hangman when from behind. Jericho blasts him with a steel chair shot. The Inner Circle started to dominate the scene again as bodies are laid out everywhere. The Inner Circle talks trash to the camera as the announcers promote the upcoming showdown between the groups of the Inner Circle and the Elite when AEW Blood and Guts comes to Newark, NJ on 3/25. Before that, AEW Dynamite into Rochester, New York next Wednesday, where among other things, the XR1 of the Dark Artist being advertised to finally be revealed. That does it for our coverage this week's AEW Dynamite show. Make sure you join us here next week, but same brand time, same brand channel, for the best live AEW Dynamite results coverage from Rochester, New York. Alright, AEW was a good show. It was just a good show. I had lots of fun watching AEW last night, and AEW knocked this one out of the park. And I know TM and DJ Storms are going to agree with me in the comment section, because AEW was a good show. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review and highlights, please drop a like on this video. Comment down below what you guys think about AEW Dynamite, because AEW Dynamite was a good show. I love tag team division. I love real professional wrestling, and I know TM and DJ Storms are going to agree with me. So shout outs to TM161, and shout outs to DJ Storms, and shout outs to everybody that's watching this video. Shout outs to the lady Nicole 3. I had to give her a shout out, man. She's such a beautiful friend, and that's all I gotta say. But anyway, shout outs to everybody, man. Shout outs to DJ Storms, shout outs to TM161. This video will be uploaded, and I will post this video, and I will share this video with everyone. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The links down below in the description box. And you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys Friday on my SmackDown review and highlights. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'm out of here.